Hey, 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 everybody. Hello, beautiful mom leaders. Welcome to Conscious Champagne Chat number 35. And today I'm going to talk about a very tricky topic, which is related to our ways of praising our children and why that is not such a good idea, actually. So, mom leaders, don't praise. That's going to be the topic of today. And I'm going to share with you why that is. And I will also share with you a strategy that you can use instead of praising to actually really build up your child's confidence and self-esteem. Now, we all love to praise, especially as moms, right? We just want to be our children's biggest cheerleader, and we just want them to feel good about themselves. I mean, it feels good, right? It feels good to us, and we want them to feel good about themselves, and we want to do it so badly that we do it in a very conditioned way, meaning we praise them all the time and overpraise them all the time. There's actually even a phrase called praise junkies, meaning that these are kids, that these are kids or people that basically constantly need the validation and the admiration from somebody else to feel worthy about themselves and like to actually feel valued about themselves. And we see this a lot in the Gen Y generation, right? A lot of corporate companies struggle with Gen Y because they want to come into the big corporations. And I'm kind of borderline Gen Y, to be honest. And just, want to make a big impact, and they want to like kind of change the world, and then they do something, but nobody gives them feedback, and then they're completely lost. They don't know what to do with it. And this happens when we praise our kids in the wrong way and just literally overuse the word good job, well done. And I hear it all the time, just thinking of like a soccer play, watching a soccer play on the weekend before Corona times, quite frankly. All the parents on the side, well done, well done, well done. And the child like didn't even hit the ball. Well done. We do this all the time, you guys. And by now, there's tons of studies out there that actually show that this is doing a lot of harm to our children's self-esteem and their confidence. It's not benefiting them at all. So if you want to be and become a true mom leader, you really are very choiceful in the way you praise your children. Now, I'm not saying never go ahead and say well done, and I'm not saying never tell them good job, but just don't overuse it all the time. It's become like just, small talk pretty much almost with our kids, and it's not helping them at all. So what do we want to do instead? So what we want to do is we want to build the child's trust in themselves. And if you remember, for those of you who've been around here for a little bit longer, I think it was either Conscious Champagne Chat number 2 or 3, where I introduced to you the 3 laws of mom leadership. And one of the laws is to love yourself first and start with yourself first. And this is a very similar principle. Teach your children to build trust in themselves first. And so you want to encourage them to literally check in and say, how do you feel about that situation? So let me give you an example. One way you know that your child is basically a praise junkie is if they constantly come up running to you asking, Mommy, 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 what do you think about the picture that I drew, right? Or Mommy, 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 did I do this right? So they have this need for you to validate them in telling them they've done a good job or they've done the right job. And do you remember, it's their measure is good and right. And the reason that is, and this was super shocking to me when I found this out, because my daughter was like that. And why was she like that? Because quite honestly, I only saw her for when she did the good things, when she did the right things. But I had a hard time seeing her and accepting her when she did not behave. I did not like that. And that goes back to the principle of loving yourself first with all the fields that you have and all the sides that you have, because you don't only have good sides on you. We all have bad sides on us. We all have, sad sides in us. We all have cranky sides in us. And if you don't know how to love that side in yourself, you cannot do that with your kids as well. And so they try so hard to get your love by constantly trying to be good or do it right. And if your child comes up asking, did I do this right? Did I do a good job? And they do that quite a lot. Then that's like an alarm signal almost, that they are looking for praise from you because they don't know how to give it to themselves. Now, when that happens, here is what I do. I basically, let's say my daughter comes to me and she's like, Mommy, did I do a good job in drawing this picture? And then I will make a comment around, what I like about the picture. I don't in general say good job. I say, oh, I like, the way you drew the flower, and I really like the color you picked here. But that's not the important part. The important part is what I say to her is, you know what, honey? I really appreciate that you ask my opinion, and I really like the picture. But what is way more important, what do you think about the picture? How do you like it? Do you think you did a good job? And then they have to think, they have to literally reconnect with themselves in that moment, like tune in and evaluate themselves. And that's how you drive self-motivation. That's how they will be able to put themselves in a position where they say, I kind of like the picture that I drew, but I think I can do this better over here. And that way they basically inherently motivate themselves. And that's what we want to teach them. Because if they don't know how to do that, they have very low self-esteem, and they constantly will have to rely on other people telling them that they've done a good job or that they've done things right. And that puts you in a codependency that makes you, when you grow up, puts you in this place of total unhappiness. Because when you put yourself in a codependency of relying constantly on what other people think of you, then you also rely on them telling you how you feel about yourselves. And that doesn't work. That can just never go right, basically. So when your child is a praise junkie and they have this need, go and encourage them. Build the trust in themselves to learn to tune in into their own intuition, to understand if they actually liked what they did and if they thought it's a good job or whether it was right or not. Because that's what truly matters. And that's what we want to teach them. And that is what will really, really, really increase their self-confidence. And yours too, my friends. Alrighty, I don't have my list with me, so I have no clue what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. But I do have something for you. Let me see actually my book. I might have my book. Oh, yes. But I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to surprise you. So tune in for tomorrow night, and we'll be back here for Conscious Champagne Chat number 36. And remember to ask your child, what do you think? Did you do a good job or not? Alrighty, take care. Mwah.